What did we watch today? What are we watching? What was that all about today, you may ask? Well, that was democracy in action, folks. That was an historic moment in the democratic process. Sure, it was a lot of political theater at its peak, and I'm here for it. I hope you are too. But that was a vote for or against the establishment. That was a vote for or against the perennial DC swamp. Yep, that was political theater, but that was also a shakeup. That tells you that it's time for change, and there are some willing to push for that change. All I know is it's good to know that there are some in Washington who are willing to stand their ground, who put their money where their mouth is, who are willing to walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
So this is what the chamber looks like when we're actually debating and the bodies are in the chairs. How many times have we been down here giving speeches and there's not a soul in the chamber? Yet this is what it takes to get 435 people in the chamber and have an actual debate. The American people are watching, and that's a good thing. What we're doing is exercising our rights to vote and have a debate and have a discussion about the future of this country through the decision of choosing a speaker.
Isn't that refreshing, folks? Isn't that good to hear? Good for you, Chip Roy. However, this ends up, no matter how it ends up, in my opinion, that the Republican Party, they need to learn that change has to result from today and tomorrow. Then I believe the division on display today in the Republican Party was worth it. There are battles worth fighting. When the state of an entire democracy is at stake, it's worth fighting, isn't it? Not enough votes. That was the clear story with the first vote, and then again with the second vote, and so on. And so history happened today. The beginning of the end of the swamp as we know it and have known it for far too long. Kevin McCarthy didn't have the votes. No, sir, he did not. The first time around, lost 19 GOP congressional members. They voted against him. 203 for McCarthy, but the answer was not enough. Then it moved to a second round for the first time since 1923. And then, yet again, not enough. And a third time, and even after a third time, still not enough, even worse, went to 20. That's a historic moment in American politics. And this day will hold a special place in history without a doubt. Political theater played out and is playing out today and tomorrow, and maybe for a long time on Capitol Hill. He thought he had it, but he didn't have it. McCarthy was all but certain he had the job, but it looks like several in the GOP had other plans today. Whatever happens, however this ends, there was some fight today, and that makes me proud of our party and our country, of our side. Joe Biden has already done a more than excellent job of dividing the country. Joe Biden has made this the most divided and polarized country ever. It's important to know who's who in this fight so we can be clear in the way forward. They voiced their vote. Think about that. Imagine being so sure you got the job before you got the job that you move your things into the office before you officially had the job. Can you even imagine that in real life? You go for the interview, fine. You're a good match for the company, good match for the job, mutually speaking. Fine, you got right experience, sure. The interview went well, sure. The interview says, we'll hear from us soon. And before you even hear back from the potential employer, you just assume you got the job. You assume you got the job to the point where you actually move your things into the office like George Costanza did. Imagine the sight. Imagine how they would react to seeing you move in your picture frames, your files, measure the drapes in the middle of the workday in plain sight before you even knew you had the job. It's kind of crazy when you put it that way, right? It's kind of crazy when you think about it against the backdrop of everyday, normal, civilian life. No, it's definitely absolutely crazy. Not a little, absolutely crazy. Borderline maniacal behavior, actually. It's kind of also crazy when you think about a controversial political figure, which at this point Kevin McCarthy is, because he doesn't seem to have the full support and backing of the GOP. It's crazy that a man could be so self-assured of himself. Sure, McCarthy aligns with the party on some of the key issues. We heard that today from several of the congressional members who aligned with McCarthy. But one of the biggest issues we've had as a party is the splinter between those willing to stand up, Chip Roy, to the Democrats, no matter what, Jim Jordan, and those who assure their constituents and the party that they will vote a certain way and then actually do it. Matt Gaetz, Boebert. Versus those who side with the Democrats unapologetically, those who sign away trillions of dollars, your money, to build a hiking trail for the former First Lady who hates America, is embarrassed of America. Remember that? Apologizes for America. Michelle. Then again, we've seen it time and time again. We've watched over the years as Republicans who came in hot, meaning they came in promising to throw down, to clear out the swamp, to fight back against Democrats and rhinos. They did not actually deliver a thing now, did they? And we know who I'm talking about when I say that. To the many who come into the office, have sold us a bill of goods and delivered on none. You know who you are. This isn't a moment in time for kowtowing to them. Yes, this isn't a moment for showing weakness or division, okay, but the unity needs to be around what's right for the party and the country, not just his turn. All you need to know is take a look at those who support McCarthy for House Speaker. Take a look at the list of names, and you know those who have put themselves above party in the country and those who haven't. Now take a look at the list of those who have refused to go with the swampy status quo. Those are the names of those who have proven that they represent what their constituents want and what's good for America. Americans have had it with the status quo. They don't want the swamp and dirty self-serving backdoor deals. That's where the MAGA movement was born. And that's why so many Americans went so fervently against it and behind the MAGA movement. Donald Trump was a disruptor. He is a disruptor. He shook up the swamp. He turned the lights on and they scurried like cockroaches. The swamp made up of liberals and rhinos that deserves to be exposed and drained. Anything else is a step backwards towards a swamp. Anything other than that isn't progress. Today we watched democracy in action. History. We saw the process happen and it was an historic moment. The process should be celebrated and witnessed by us all, and the fight against the status quo, the establishment, the swamp, the fight against those who do not walk the walk in the fight for our country, and that should also be celebrated.